मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday Feast program of ISKCON of Silicon Valley. And I'm very happy to be here amongst all of you. Today, I have thought of discussing one chapter from Bhagavad Gita. Before we start, I would like to know how many of you actually have read Bhagavad Gita full? Yeah? Okay. Others must be studying definitely. Yeah. So, this Bhagavad Gita is a text which is accepted by all kind of people from all over the world. Just like, yoga is something, I have seen yoga practiced by people in Middle East, like Islam followers, right? Pregnant ladies practicing yoga for, nice natural birth. So it is universally accepted. They don't see a religion in it. They see it is something practical, something that we can utilize to get benefit, something to help us in different situations, like that. So, similarly, Bhagavad Gita is accepted by... Oh, it's not showing. Maybe if I... Yeah. Thank you, bro. It's done. Okay, this is the chapter we're going to discuss today. So, this is the book which is accepted by all kind of people. If you look at many scientists studied very seriously Bhagavad Gita because many questions science not able to answer. Many questions. And some questions we'll be discussing. Why I chose this chapter is because there are certain questions which is, with our technology and with our science and understanding, we're not able to answer many questions. So many people studied deeply Bhagavad Gita, like Albert Einstein and many of them. I think the person who actually did the atomic bomb test, what's his name? I'm forgetting. In US, anybody? Oppenheimer. Yeah, Oppenheimer. So he quoted a shloka from Bhagavad Gita when the bomb went off, actually, the test bomb. He quoted a Bhagavad Gita in chapter 11. I don't recall the exact verse, but Krishna says, "Time I am the destroyer of everything." That verse he quotes when that bomb was tested. That means he was studying it very seriously. So anyway, so there are many things which our general knowledge that we study doesn't answer, and Bhagavad Gita is able to answer. And one such topic is about life and death, especially death. So Okay. Um, to understand death, we have to understand what is life, right? Is it just the span of time we live, like born on such and such date, and died on such and such date, and finish over? Or there is something more to it? Ah. Also, is it the end of everything? Or is it the beginning of an unknown journey? So, this is some questions that we always think. Everybody, any human beings, we think about these things. In some time, at least when somebody passes away, and we go to the cremation and we see the place, then we start thinking about it. What is it? Is it over? Is the person gone forever? And generally, if we look at the study that we do in our college and universities, it is over. The game is over, and everything is over. They say everything is over now. No, nothing remains anymore. But here, Bhagavad Gita actually begins when the knowledge ends there. When the knowledge ends, Bhagavad Gita begins. And these are the questions Krishna is going to answer in this chapter. So, chapter 8 is acronymed DEAD, D-E-A-D. This was actually created by, this Maharaj sannyasi who came from Bhaktivinoda Manor. I forgot his name. Keshav Swami. He created this acronyms. I like all of his acronyms for Gita. Is very fantastic. And this one is D stands for doubts, E stands for end of life, A attaining the supreme, D devotion. So there are the four topics that covers this. Can you also see Gita by side if you want? You can twist. Huh? So whenever I say, we can go there. I have to check also here. Okay. This presentation I made long time back when I was in doing youth preaching and all. I hope it is relevant today. Okay, the first thing is doubts. So, doubting is a function of intelligence and is at no point in the Bhagavad Gita does Krishna discourage questions. Questioning is a sign of intelligence. To understand why, how. The thing is, we stop asking question about death and all. But Arjuna here is asking many questions. It's a sign of intelligence. Doubting things is also intelligence. But then once, on the contrary, he encourages Arjuna to intelligently contemplate all his answers and subsequently make his own decisions. So there we have to understand that we have to make the decisions for ourselves, because we are the one who is asking questions, right? Whatever answers we get, we have to apply. We have to understand. We have to accept or reject. The person who is giving the knowledge, like the professor, he gives the knowledge in the classroom. It's up to us how much we accept, how much we utilize it, right? He just keeps it. But on the contrary, Krishna also wants, he is willing to answer unlimitedly to convince or to help us to understand what it is. So, in this 8th chapter, Arjuna asks 8 questions in the beginning. And Krishna focuses on the last questions, the duty at the time of death. You will see the 8 questions. So if we can go to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse number 1 on the screen. Yeah. So it says, Arjuna, let's go to the translation straight. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is self? What are the fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. I'll just take some water. So if we scroll up a little to the Sanskrit, Mataji, then go up. Yeah. Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama, adi hutam cha kim proktam, adi daivam kim uchyate. So you can see there are like few things. What is Brahman? So Brahman refers to something that is eternal, our self, our soul, right? So actually Krishna has already explained these things long back in the Bhagavad. Right in the chapter 2 itself, Krishna explains that we are not just body, we have senses, we have mind, and we are also spirit soul. And that's our true self, spirit soul. He says, the shloka says, what is that? Komaram, dehinosmin yatha dehe, komaram yovanam jara, tatha dehantara pratir dhirastatranam hati. Thank you. So dehinosmin, that within the body, the spirit soul, we are the same person. The body changes, but we are the same person. That unchangeable thing is Brahman. That he has already explained, but still Arjuna is asking again and again. It is not frustrating for Krishna. He is answering again. So that's about how much he was taking interest in answering the questions, we can see. And then he asks about what is different things like Adhyatma, what are the Adidaiva? Adidaiva means the demigods or devatas. So like that he's asking all these questions. We'll go to the next verse. Again the question continues. Yadhi adhiyagya katham kotra tehesmin madhusudana prayana kalecha katham gyayasi niyatatma bhi. So last question is prayana kalecha katham. Prayana kal means at the time of death. What is the duty at the time of death? So Krishna is answering all the 7 questions in actually 1 or 2 verses. And then he focuses on these last questions. Because in this chapter he wants to describe the mystery of the death and beyond. Okay? So let's go to the next verse. Let's go to the translation, Mataji. Let's have time. Anybody would like to read this? I have a microphone here. The question continues. Let's go to the next. This is the same verse translation. We'll go to the next verse translation. Answers. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
Okay. So in one line he is explaining the answers like the eternal nature, Brahman, spirit soul. And then he speaks about karma. Karma also he also spoke in details in chapter 3, Karma Yoga. And then again in chapter 5 he explained karma, action in Krishna consciousness. So now he is just briefly touching upon then. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma. This is very nice, and in a very small one sentence he speaks about that all the activities that related to our body and its maintenance is called karma basically. Otherwise, we are not obliged to look after our body, mind or sense. In the sense, because we are eternal in nature, okay, so we have a different nature. Right now we are in the body, therefore we have to take care. But otherwise we have no relation. There is no need to do those things. It is very complicated I'm speaking, I'm sorry about it. But that's how it is, you understand. But my nature is different, body's nature is different. Now I have to do the activities pertaining to the body, but I am different. I'm not supposed to do these things, but I'm doing it. Right? Am I clear, kind of? Yeah? Thank you. So that's karma, that activities that is related to the body and the environment that we're living, material nature we're living, that is called karma. And it has action and reaction. If it is done wrongly, we have reactions. And the thing is, there is always a possibility of things going wrong, unless you're very, very careful. I mean, even if you're careful, still there is a mistakes. Like I would say one example. Like if we are driving on the road, a little, if we, should not do that. I mean, you should take proper rest and drive. You immediately understand the car is going, as fast as we're driving, that fast we go away, So the karma is such a sensitive thing. If it is not done properly, there will be disastrous results. But as such, the creation is like that. To live, we have to kill. It's like that. Like I'm breathing, I'm killing a lot of bacteria, right? We know it. Our WBCs are ready always to fire, to kill, so that we live. Our body lives, not we. Our body lives to maintain the body. And therefore, in one sense, we cannot say we are good people, because we are killing constantly to live. At somebody else's cost, we are living. But forget about the vegetables, the animals that we eat, these things like that. We're killing, basically, constantly killing. We're walking, we step over something, we're killing. And so therefore the Lord speaks about yajna, or sacrifice. Sacrifice means, if somebody is sacrificing their life so that we can live, we have to do something more valuable than that life that we are spending to live. So this is a different way to understand sacrifice. When somebody sacrifices, the people who are fighting on the border, for example, they're sacrificing their life to protect us, right? So what is our responsibility? To give more, to make the society a better place, to make the people feel, experience happiness and all those things. So our responsibility grows a lot, tremendously, because somebody else is dying for us. The same way, every time we live, we have a responsibility that is growing time and again. So that's the concept of sacrifice. So, and that sacrifice you have to acknowledge to the Lord. So here is the animal, or here is the vegetable, here is the grains. They're giving their life. We acknowledge that to the Lord. So therefore we do offerings, right? Whatever we cook, of course Krishna, it's all vegetarian, sattvic, bhojan, which is offered to Krishna. That's how the Shastra describes. Different deities accept different offerings. Krishna accepts sattvic, like patram, puspam, phalam, toyam, like that, Yagyan bhavati bhutani, all the grains that is also offered to Krishna. So in this way, our existence basically requires karma is basically body, this material nature, world. That's what it is all involved about. That's Krishna explains in this one line. We'll go to the next verse. Translation, bro. Can anybody read, bro? It's a big...
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adidev. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the Super Soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhiyajna, the Lord of Sacrifice.
So Krishna now speaks about in more details that the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta. Bhuta means this Panchabhuta, earth, water, air, fire, ether, Panchabhuta. We call Panchamahabhuta also. Then there is senses, mind, intelligence. All these are material. And they are changing. So much so that we know that one day the fuel in the sun will going to get over. Stars dies, sun dies, planets die. Everything finishes. Everything is temporary. So the thing is, Krishna just described our nature, Brahman. We are permanent, eternal living entities. And the material nature is temporary. It's changing. So unchanging, captured in a changing situation. It's like that. So now what's happening in this world, we constantly look for eternal happiness. Yes or no? Anybody who doesn't? Anybody who wants it, right? We all want it. Because it's our inherent nature. That's what we are. We are spirits. We are Atma. Adhyatma, right? We are Brahman. Our desire is for permanent happiness. Now, this world can never give us that. So therefore, all the stress, all the intricacies of karma and action, reactions, everything is happening because of we are trying to look for that eternal happiness in a situation which cannot give us. So therefore, the Lord is explaining here, the physical nature, the adibhuta, or the material manifestation is temporary. He will describe more vividly in this chapter later. We'll come to that. Now let's go to the next verse. Can we go back to our presentation? I don't know what is there here. Ready? Yeah? Okay. So we are almost there. It's difficult to read, right? Yeah. We cannot, I think the pictures are bigger than the letters. Huh? I can read it here. Krishna explains how one's thoughts at the death sums up one's consciousness, desires and world views they cultivated throughout their life. Thus, one's state of mind at the time of death determines their nature, next situation of life. For those who remember God at death, they will go to God. So basically, now Krishna is focusing on the last questions, prana kalecha, right? Prana kale, chamameva. So let's go to the next, I can go here, next verse, yeah. This is here. Antakale chamameva, swaran maktva kalevaram, yaprati samad bhavam, yati nasti atra samsaya. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So this is, Krishna is giving a very affirmative statement, right? It's an absolute statement that please don't doubt this. If we doubt this, then we will be at loss, basically. At the time of death, if we remember Krishna, the promise is we attain that nature where our eternal happiness is guaranteed. Here it is not guaranteed. But in that situation, that will be guaranteed. Basically, we will get liberation. We will be freed. So, now the next verse it's here. Yamem bapi smaran bhavam tajyate ante kalebaram tam tam aibete konte sadatad bhava bhavita. That whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Again, without fail. So these are the things Krishna is very affirmative, that whatever state of mind is there at the time of death, that state will achieve. Basically what happens? How we conduct our life, entire life, that state will be at the time of death. Like, Gaurang too, he gives a lot of jokes they speak during this kind of presentation, make things light. So there was a businessman and he was on his deathbed. I don't know how to speak jokes, please excuse me. It's like that. So he's at the time of death, he's lying in the bed and he's asking, where is my elder son? He's saying, Papa, I'm here. And where is younger son? Papa, I'm here. Daughter-in-law, she says, I'm here also. Looks for his wife, he says, I'm also here. And he says, if everybody is here, who is in the shop? Dukan mein kaun hai? So at the time of death, they are thinking about, there's another person who was not leaving the shop, because this Krishna also uses this word in Gita, Bebasayatmika buddhi eka kuru nandana. That sloka is very important, where Krishna says one should focus or do spiritual activities like a businessman. Because why? Businessmen are very much absorbed in their activities. There are different, lust, greed, anger, different things are there in anarthas. If you take the anarthas, lust, troublesome. But it comes and goes. It has a spell. It comes and goes. But greed, it doesn't go. Greed, no matter how much you feed, it becomes more and more and more. So I used to sing in my childhood. My mom used to teach us to sing, the prayers in the evening. There is one Ram Bhajan where we used to sing, Kamihi nari pyari jimi lovi priya jimi dam. I used to sing without understanding a word of it for years and years. They were kids singing. Later I understood, after coming to Krishna consciousness, all 20 years later, maybe 25 years later, that kama refers to lust. Just like a lusty man is attached to a woman, or a businessman is attached to money. Kamihi naripi, arijimi, lobi priyajimidam. Lobi means greed. So the greed never ends. So therefore, Krishna uses that example to grow in spiritual life. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eka krunadana. Just focus like a businessman, he says. Because the greed never ends. Now, so this one example I gave about the person who was dying in the bed. Another person, she was also not leaving the shop at all. So the sons, they invited one sadhu. They told him, please take our daddy on a tirtha yatra. Maybe his mind will change, he'll become detached, he'll become, spiritual, so that we handle, so that he become less stressed about all these things. So it's enough. So he takes them in a different places, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Ganga. Many places he took. Nothing was happening to him. Finally, he took him to Varanasi. You know that place where they, a lot of dead bodies come, they burn and they put them in Dasas into the Ganga. So when he saw that, he started thinking, my God, what is sin? So the sadhu thought maybe now he has understood it, finally, seeing all these dead bodies. He said, no, actually I was thinking we should have done this business of selling wood here. If it had sold woods, it would have made much more money than what I made. So like that, so it doesn't go. That's how business people... Yes. So therefore, how we conduct our life throughout our entire life, that state will prevail in our consciousness. It's very difficult to push it out. We should try to understand this point. It will not leave us. So therefore, any times all these anarthas come, like lust, greed, anger, we have to try to push ourselves back or against all these things, and try to pull it back to Krishna. Like my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, he was giving long time back we used to have a festival called Prerna, still going on actually. Prerna is a youth festival, all the young people come. Maharaj is speaking about anger management, how to overcome anger. So one person asked, actually he's a senior person, he asked, suppose I get a lot of anger comes, what should I do? If I just shout it out, then it's gone, right? But if I keep it within me, without expressing, then it will kill me from within. Which is better? And he was expecting Maharaj will say, just yell it out. Maharaj said, you shout loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. Shout loudly, because your anger is there. Let it come out in the form of a spiritual sound vibration. Then depending on how the person is hurt by your chanting Hare Krishna also, ask forgiveness. Anyway, so that was... so these things, lust, greed, anger, which is a basis of material existence, basically, for which these are driving forces which makes us, do things. So that will prevail in our time of death. So therefore we have to be very careful as spiritual aspirants, as trying to become Krishna conscious. We have to really work hard, basically, to protect ourselves from these things. Okay. So therefore Krishna is saying, but if we not unable to remember Krishna, or we remember something else, that will be the state without any doubt or without any fail. There is no failure about this. Okay. So therefore Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevram. This verse is something that we should carry in our heart. But at the time of death, how we should remember Krishna. Once I was in a car, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radha Swami was sitting in the front, I was sitting in the middle seat, and one of my Maharaj servant, he was sitting behind. And it was a very hectic day, and previous night also there was a program, all hectic, so we are going to Mayapur. So Calcutta, we boarded the car, and it was naturally Maharaj was chanting his rounds. Actually, I was sitting in the front, Maharaj was in the middle seat, and the devotee was behind. And he went to sleep immediately. I can understand sitting in the front. Because it's very tiring. Service is very tiring. So he went to sleep. Then suddenly this driver was very rash driving and suddenly hit somebody in the car. It was not a very bad, but just he hit him and the car stopped. And the devotee was sitting all the way behind. He said, Gauranga, he chanted. I said, wow, this is good. Because, death can come anytime, right? And he remembered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the castello of all incarnations, right? So I was feeling that this is good, this is very good. Because of the practice. In the case of Ajamil, although he gave his son's name Narayan, because some sadhu suggested, he was attached to that boy, not Narayan the Lord, but Narayan the boy. But when the death came, he became very annoyed, very, fearful, and he called out for his son. But he called out Narayan's name, and that benefited him. Because Krishna's name and Krishna is not different. Usually, if somebody else also has like same name like my name, and somebody calls both of our names, same name, then we both look back, right? Then I realize, he's not calling me, he's calling him. Then I say, okay, carry on. But in case of Krishna, it's not like that. He called me, I have to help. So like that. That's how Ajamil was protected. That's because of mercy of the sadhu. So bringing, like right nowadays, we don't give Krishna's name anymore to the kids. Somehow things have changed. Different complicated names we give to the kids. These kids, please forgive me if I... I'm not against those names. But giving simple name Ram, Krishna, Hari, Narayan, very nice. Like my grandfather name, one grandfather name was Narsingha. The other grandfather name was Madan Mohan. Like if I see that generation, my grandfather, everybody has Krishna's name, more or less. Lord Krishna or Lord Shiva, like that. More or less. Nowadays it is no more. Anyway, my neighbor father name was Kunja Bihari. So if I start remembering them, list will not end. Anyway, so basically somehow or other we have to bring Krishna into our memory at the time of death. Now this remembrance is also a very powerful thing. Remembrance is a function of mind, smriti or memory. If we look at, different aspect of our body like mind, senses and intelligence. Mind is very, very much talked about, false ego. False ego is, from danger point of view, false ego is the highest, most deadliest thing, false ego. It's so difficult to overcome that. But when we use a tool to achieve success, then mind is very powerful and helpful. It's not intelligence. Because intelligence also has limitations. I know a story. I'm sorry, I'm going around all over places because we have time till 5. if you don't mind. There was I read this story long time back when I was in school about a wager. Wager means gambling. There was a lawyer and there was a scientist, very high class scientist, who actually created a biosphere in some other planet. It was so perfect, the climate, the temperature, the amount of oxygen, carbon dioxide, everything is balanced. And that can be rain, that can be wind, anything can be possible because it is all computerized. And he was kind of proud of course, if you do so much, pride is natural. And some may say, okay, he wants to be proud about this also, such a big task done. So he said to the lawyer that here is a microphone, whatever you say, it will do instantly. That is the power of this biosphere. So if you say temperature, I want 40 degree, it will make 40 degree. If you want 35, it will make 35. If you want rain, it will make rain. Just say it. What do you want? So the lawyers, they have their own egos. So he goes to the microphone and says, from now on, whatever I say is all false. So that means all the inputs are coming are false. So whatever inputs are going to the system, started treating them as false, like autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease? It's like that. That's what it happened. The whole system collapsed. Both of them died. That's the story about it. A lot of things to learn from that. First of all, the thing is, logic has limitations. Logic has a limitation. Here, the logic actually killed logic in one sense. Another person, once I was going to a program, one devotee was driving me in Bombay. Very nice, friendly person. So I just came from Mayapur. I was carrying a lot of this nursing kavach. I gifted him because many times he would just, late night he would drive me back to temple, things like that. Such a nice, helpful person. So I offered him, say, please, this will protect you. Please keep this nursing kavach. He said, oh, I cannot wear this. I said, why? Because from this throat I'm speaking constant lies. He's a marketing. He was in marketing. He said, I'm constantly lying every day and out, every word. So how can I put Narsingadev here and speak lies? But here if you look, I just thought about it later. Here is a person who is saying, whatever I say is lie. Look at that statement. Whatever I say is lie. Is that statement lie or true, or what should I take it? What should I take it? I take it as true because we have a relationship. I trust him. So these are the things which are superior quality than just yes, no, false, true, These are more important in life, right? I trust him because he's my friend. He's saying, Prabhu, I lie all the time. I said, okay. Maybe you can take a break. Maybe whenever you feel confident, maybe some other job or some other change of situation, maybe you can wear it, things like that. But yeah, I accepted it. So in this way, we see that how we have to understand the mind as a powerful tool than intelligence or than ego is very important. That's I want you to focus on this aspect of mind as a powerful tool to achieve success, spiritual success, any success actually, especially spiritual success. Because mind has the function of remembrance. We can remember Krishna, I know one Mataji lady, she was old. She was a devotee in a Gaudiya Sampradaya. Our Sampradaya only, but different sect, different group. And she became very attached to chanting holy names. And then what happened? She goes into coma. She had a lot of health issues. She goes into coma. Coma means nothing. The entire body was stopped. But these two fingers are always like this. Always. Everything else, nothing working. Nothing working. Only these two fingers. That means you are chanting constantly in the mind. So that also gave me a lot of hope that, even if somebody goes coma, the remembrance of Krishna cannot stop. Yeah, that mercy has to be there also. But yeah, so remembrance is a very powerful thing. It's a very practical tool also. Whenever I do things, I forget a lot of things in my day-to-day life. When I go out of my home to some work or something, few things I forget back. That affects me for the next course of actions. I don't know how many of you have similar type of problems, especially those who are like scientific type of bent of mind. They forget a lot of things, right? Or things like that, right? If somebody is smiling, that means they're relating to these situations. You're focused on one thing, rest of the world, we just forget. So remembrance is a very powerful tool. And Krishna is asking us here, in also beginning of this section of Gita, starting from chapter 6, he says, Maya Sakta Mana Partha Yoga Manja Madasraya. That remembrance actually comes when we have a shelter of Krishna. Madasraya. So when you take shelter of Krishna, to remember him becomes easier. But if you take as a task, when I have to remember Krishna, that's about it. It may not work. But Madasraya, Maya Sakta Mana Partha, Asakta, that Asakti to Krishna, his lotus feet, that Asakti comes when we have the shelter of the Lord. And to get the shelter of the Lord, we have to approach all the, great devotees of the Lord. Right? Because they have taken the shelter. They are under the shelter of the Lord already. They're enjoying, releasing that relationship with the Lord constantly. So when we take shelter of them, that will help us to take shelter of Krishna, because we don't know what is shelter. Today we say surrender. Like, I have done surrender to Krishna many times in my life. Many, many times. And I said, Lord, this is it. Today I am surrendered completely. Then situation happens, then we go back. Then, I could not do it. Then again I said, okay, I surrendered today, I surrendered. Today, this is it. No more. I'm totally yours, completely yours. Then something happens and, oh my God, I couldn't make it. So then later, I was becoming afraid to say, I'm surrendered. Because it's not going to work again. It may fail again. How many times it will fail? How many times will you take it like that? But then I came across this verse where Krishna is speaking about ashraya, shelter. And that is possible only if we can take shelter of the devotees. Right? So that is, because what happens, devotees, they see our life very closely. Lord is also watching, but we are not able to watch that He is watching us in one sense. We may be knowing it, but we don't see Krishna is watching us all the time. He's watching all the time. There's no doubt about it. But when you take a shelter of devotees, they know us. They know our life. They know who we are, what we are doing, everything they know. So there, the shelter is very, it has to be very genuine. There cannot be anything black and white, no gray. It has to be black and white. Then the shelter is complete. And that's the training ground. So all these things we may be knowing in our life about shelter, about all these things, but actually practically doing it, going through that, takes a lot of courage, a lot of sacrifices, right? Okay, so therefore Krishna is saying, to remember me at the time of death is very important, because that's where we step into a world where there is, whatever we want, eternal things, eternal happiness, everything is available there. Okay, so I go to the next. So those who think of Krishna, go to Krishna. Those who think otherwise are not wise. That's the quote here. Those who think of Krishna, go to Krishna. Those who think otherwise are not wise. Okay. So, therefore Krishna is recommending how to have that memory, a remembrance at the time of death. Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmara yuddhacha. Mayarpita mana buddhir mamevasasi asamsaya. Again, asamsaya, without doubt. All the doubts that Arjuna is having in the mind, Krishna is trying to destroy them. That one should always think of me in the form of Krishna, at the same time carry out one's prescribed duty of fighting, or whatever our duties are. As a person living in this world, we have various duties. There is family duty, there is duty towards our elders, duty towards our dependents, younger people, duty towards our friends, duty towards the anything, God, country. These are all duties, spiritual duties, material duties. But whatever maybe it is, we have to connect it to Krishna some way. That is yoga. The karma, if you connect our activities to Krishna, karma yoga. Thinker, Muni, So those activities, the ability to think, some people, more or less everybody thinks. But some people are really thinkers. They can sit for hours and hours and think. They have that capacity. Some people can go on eating. That is another capacity. But cows, they graze all day long. They have that capacity. They can eat all day long. But as humans, we have the ability to think. And we can go on thinking. But if those thoughts or the thought process or whatever it is, if it is not connected to Krishna, so when it is connected to Krishna, everything becomes purified actually. First of all, we don't think wrong thing. Right? I have to silent. Okay. Yeah. So, in this way, we have to understand that everything that we do, yat karosi yadasnasi, that is another verse Krishna says in Gita, another place, that whatever activity we do, whatever we eat, whatever we give away as charity, sometimes giving away can, increase our pride. I'm the giver, I'm giving, I'm protecting, I'm doing so much of service, so much of seva. So all this can go to the head very easily. But if it is done with the remembrance of Krishna, or as an offering to Krishna, then we understand. We understand that it is because of Krishna's blessings that we are able to do something. So therefore, He is the doer. Right? He is the doer. If he were not in our life, we would not have been able to do anything. We would not have been able to walk actually. Come out of bed. The baby grows, comes up to the bed and start doing things. We cannot come out of the bed, come out of the things to do things unless that blessing is there. We cannot see. We cannot hear. What can we do? So therefore, Krishna is saying that if we connect our activities to Him throughout our life, through whatever situation we are, then there is a very good chance that, is not very good chance, we will be able to remember Krishna. Because He is saying, Tasmat sarvesu, therefore you think of me while doing things. Why? Because you want to think of me at the time of death. Therefore you do this and you will be able to do it. Again Krishna says, Mamevasya asamsa. In this way you will come to me without doubt. Evasya means coming close, very close. I don't know, in our language, that I come from Odisha, we say asa. Asa means come. So evasya means here, Krishna is saying, you will come very close to me. Asamsa, without a doubt. So now Krishna changes the topic a little bit. He says, these things are so clear. Whatever we heard now about death, about ourselves, about the material nature, about how the process helps us to go back to Krishna, we heard all these things. But what is stopping us from doing this? Right? Now he explains this aspect. He says, or what will help us want to think of Krishna. Actually, that's how he explains it. What will help us to think of Krishna? So when one becomes frustrated by the pursuits of this world, they realize that happiness lies in another realm. So we're, like in the beginning I was saying, we are we are eternal entities and trapped in temporary situations, and we're trying to become happy. Another way also to understand this is that how we are spirit soul. Because this creation, everything is temporary. Anything we look at, anywhere we look at, it is all temporary. Is there anything that is permanent? Can you give one example in this creation which is permanent? No. So despite that everything is temporary, how are we thinking about a permanent thing? The other permanent word is existing. It should not exist. Because everything is temporary. We are also temporary. We are just roaming, we know, come and go. Huh? Right? So what is that permanent thought process, or that idea, or that strong desire? This desire is so strong, despite everything is temporary, still the desire is so strong, we want a permanent happiness. It is very, very pushing, dominating. Because we are permanent beings. We cannot accept anything temporary. We just can't accept it. So therefore, so while trying to gain happiness, something that is temporary, a permanent happiness, we get frustrated time and again, time and again, time and again. Then we say, oh, let me look somewhere else. Is there something, other options? Do I have some other options? Krishna says, yes, we have. We have. And we experience that. Okay. So, as spiritual beings, life in a complex world of matter is an incompatible situation. This life, it is incompatible. Looking for permanent pleasure in a temporary world. Understanding the futility of material existence is very important. It's very important. It's not worth investing here when this is not going to reward us the way we want it. So there are many painstaking ways in which different spiritualists conduct their lives in order to attain that supreme destiny. Now, understanding that, people want to achieve. This chapter actually entitled Attaining the Supreme, right? Chapter Gita, Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, Attaining the Supreme. So there are various paths to achieve that situation. And Krishna speaks about how Bhakti is also on one path, which is actually very powerful. So we will not go to the details. But here, this is something I wanted to speak actually. This is verse number 15. This actually comes before the... so how the material world is futile, right? It is difficult to achieve the success or the happiness that we are looking for. How futile it is, Krishna explains here. And this is very vividly describing here. He says, Mamupatya punarjanma dukkhalayam asasvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. So, Mamupatya punarjanma. So one who attains me, the Supreme, then there is no punarjanma. There is no rebirth. There is no... whatever problem we are facing now, we will not face anymore. That's how it is. And he has described this word as dukkhalayam asasvatam. 2 words. This is an abode of dukkha, miseries. Like we gave this example. Then when we were kids in the school, I thought, I don't know about others, those days, I'm speaking about 60s and 70s, we are thinking those who are in college, they're happier than us. So when we go to college, we'll have freedom. Like we're not going to school and coming back home and play for a half hour, things like that. A lot of control. So when you go to college, you'll be happy. So then we went to college. And we realized, no, those who are working, or there is particular college like engineering or medical, they are happy guys. So some of us went to those such places. Okay, then you have to do this, you have to do that, and and then we looked at then we looked at the people who are working. We thought maybe they'll be happier people, and we went. Some of us achieved that. And then one fine day we're looking at the kids who are going to school, we think, oh my God, that guy is so happy, right? Huh? Oh, that was a better life I had. When we look back in reflection. But the Krishna is saying, Dukhalayam, no matter what situation, whether a kid or a young person or a working person or a rich person or a poor person or a politically achieved, claimed, or somebody who's ruled, everybody is miserable. I mean, it's a like a, when we say like that, it's something, it scares us. It's a very pessimistic view, maybe one may say. But we don't have to look anywhere else. Just look at our own selves, and be honest about it. And no matter, people achieve a lot in their life, different way, different thing. But there are times when they're very miserable, right? There are times, sometimes really miserable, and it goes everybody's life. So dukhalayam. It is like they say, if you go to a bastralaya or place where clothes are available, you'll find clothes only there, right? If you go to a pustakalaya or library, you'll find books. If you go to dukhalaya, well, what will you find? You'll find dukha. It's nothing to be surprised or nothing to be feel bad about it, because we are here. That's what it is. Asaswatam is another word that is temporary. So this is hope-giving actually. One is, it is misery. The other is temporary. Temporary is inspiring. Why? Because it's going to end. Misery is going to end. But when it will end? When we attain the Supreme. Otherwise it's not going to end. It's just going in cycles. This creation is actually a lot of cycles. Summer, winter, rain, now summer is coming back. It's all cycles. So we think that our one life cycle is, that's it about, birth and death, over. No, it's a cycle. One cycle is over. Next cycle is going to come again. We're going to again going through this childhood, youth. The cycle continues. It never ends. But it will end, that cycle, the temporary nature, that miseries, associated miseries, it will over when we actually attend to the Supreme. So, Krishna is saying, Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsiddhim Paramam. Those who are Mahatma, they don't return. They don't come back. Or they don't take interest in this world actually. They're indifferent. They work hard, they attend to the Supreme. Now, I'll go back to the book, 16. Next one, next verse, please. 16. This is 15. Abrahma bhavana loka punarabhritina Arjuna mamupatetu konte punarjanmana vidyate. Again, Krishna is emphasizing the same aspect, that those who attain me, they don't come back. But then he describes another thing. Abrahma bhavana loka punarabhritina Arjuna. This entire creation from Brahma Lok down to Patala. Everywhere, this cycle that I just spoke about, birth, death, childhood, youth, old age, childhood, youth, old age, death. This is continuously happening from Brahma Lok to Patal Lok. The next verse, let's go. This is a very beautiful picture actually. 17, yeah. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyad brahmano viduhu. Ratrim yuga sahasrantam teho ratra vidojana. Is explaining that Sahasra yuga, that 1,000 yuga cycle, like ours yuga, we only know summer, winter and rainy. That is one thing. There are yuga like Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta. Which yuga now going on? Kali Yuga, wherever, right? Because quarrel and hypocrisy is so much in the everywhere. Even in spiritual organization, there is a lot of fights. So Kali Yuga, the rainy season, we know why it rains all the time, right? There's rainy season. Similarly, Kali Yuga, you will see quarrel and hypocrisy a lot, unfortunately. So that is the age we are now. So like that, there are different yuga cycles. So Kali, when the Kali ends, then Satya Yuga will also come. So Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali is one yuga cycle. It's a lot of many thousands and thousands of years. There is numbers also. 432 1000 is Kali Yuga. 432 1000 multiplied by 2 number of years is Dwapara, multiplied by 3 is Treta, multiplied by 4 is Satya. Satya Yuga is the longest, fortunately. But then there are a lot of benefits of Kali Yuga, which don't have the time to discuss that. One benefit, like one of my sister, she's very sincerely serving her mother-in-law. She was sick, down, bedridden, she's passing on the bed, things like she was cleaning, getting people to do things also. She's very sincerely serves, but that lady somehow, because of old age and all, whatever, she was ungrateful. She was speaking, sometimes bad words also. So she was saying, I feel like shouting at her, but I don't do, but I feel like, it's like that. I said, in Kali Yuga, one benefit is there. If you commit offense in the mind, it doesn't react. But if you think of a good thing in the mind, like I want to build a temple, or I want to, feed millions of people, whatever it is, you think in the mind, you get the benefit. So more positivity we cultivate, the benefit is there. Whether we are able to do it or not, that's another thing. Or whether it comes to actually, you say, I want to give $1 million. But you may not give, because when $1 million comes, you may say, okay, I cannot give. But you have thought giving, that benefit you get, because the thought itself is rare. It's rare in Kali Yuga. Anyway, so the benefit is there. So I told her, she was relieved. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. Anyway, so the point is, so this 4 yuga makes one cycle, and the 1,000 yuga cycles just makes one day of Brahma. Now, how long this person lives, we cannot imagine. But still, Krishna is saying, that person is also going to die. What to speak of us? Or what to speak of ants or other insects or whatever. Everybody. You cannot even imagine the number. Actually, these numbers are very huge. One aspect of Veda is such a realistic scientific knowledge, because such numbers were not found in any other literature, any other history or culture. Because people just count how many years one person lives, and that's it. 100 years, that's it. Their number never grew from one human life cycle. If you look at the history that we are reading in the school and colleges, they are basically centered around one life cycle, and then add up that. And just 2,000, 3,000 years, we don't know anything beyond that. That's it. But here Krishna is speaking about somebody's lifespan, which is like thousands or millions of years. And he's just pointing the fact that even if we achieve that aspect, becoming Brahma, we're going to die. What is the point? What's the point? So Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, Ahar means a day or night, Yad Brahmana Vidu. Brahmana means here is a Brahma. It's referring to Brahma. And Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vidojana. And similarly, one night, one day and one night. So when Brahma sleeps one night, there is a pralaya. Everything gets destroyed. Just like, suppose you run some business, you go to sleep, and when you get up, you'll find something has gone wrong. It happens, right? We go to sleep, your things goes wrong there. It may happen, likely to happen. And it happens. So when Brahma sleeps, some kind of destruction happens in the creation. Go to the next verse. I like this section of this chapter because this material world, how vividly Krishna describes. Let's go to the translation straight. That I spoke about. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from their unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they merge into unmanifest state. In Pralaya, destruction happens. Okay, let's go. Next verse, please. Translation. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being. And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they all helplessly annihilated. So this is the situation. And this is the situation where all these cycles come to life and get ends and everything. Cycles within the cycles, bigger cycles, smaller cycles, all are happening within. And that's what this material world is. So unless we actually take a spiritual path very seriously, we are helpless. Helplessly going into that whole process. Okay. Next verse, please. Now, this is where Krishna is saying the other alternative. This is the creation that we live. Brahma Lok, then all these yugas, all this time span, all these cycles happening within this creation, and there is dukkha, there is a temporary nature, all these things, that's this world. Yet there is another unmanifestness. Let's go back to my presentation. So this was the material world that we are speaking about. Mamupatya punarjanma dukkhalayam asaswatam. This is the world that we live. And here Krishna is saying, yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental. I'm sorry about small fonts. I find it difficult to read here. I created this long time back. I think it's time to change it. But let's go back to the Bhagavad Gita directly. They can all see it. This is text number 20. So yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is manifesting pralaya and creation, srishti, pralaya. That is a cycle going on. It is supreme and is never annihilated. That place is never annihilated. So that's called Kingdom of God in the Bible, or we call it Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan. These are the spaces. Like you look at this. Let us go back to my presentation, please. Look at this picture where the Mahavishnu is lying and the creation is happening. So if you see the Bhagavatam book by Prabhupada, the first canto 1, there are a lot of small planets are like bubbles coming out. That picture was made, and Srila Prabhupada was there. He was watching at the image. He was saying he was very happy with the picture. Then there was one black pointer somewhere like this. Then one devotee asked Prabhupada, "What is that?" Prabhupada said, "Of all the places, you look at that point because that is the material world." And you are getting attracted to that. Anyway, the point is, even the science, the 3/4 of creation is unknown to us. Some kind of missing mass or universal calculation in physics they do, whatever it is. But we understand from scriptures that there is a space, a creation, which is completely different from what we are living here. Completely different. And that's where we should plan to go. That's where we should aim to go. So, yet there is another unmanifest nature. It is unmanifest because it is not manifested to us. It is there, it is real. Just like in a desert, in a mirage, we see water, but we don't get water. Okay. But water does exist, right? Similarly, here we're looking for happiness, we don't get it, but it exists. Therefore, we're looking for it. And it is existing in abundance in this space that Krishna is speaking about. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. Just like this creation is getting annihilated and recreated, annihilated, recreated, that thing doesn't happen there. It is that anxiety is not there. Like here, even if you build a house, 60 years, 100 years, it just breaks down. Earlier, in the villages, they used to make with mud and bamboos houses. Every year they have to repair, right? Every 2-3 years, 4 years, they have to repair. They have to build it, break it down, build it again. There is some fun in it also. But the thing is, it's anxiety. You destroy, you build. You destroy, you build. It's a stress. Why? What is the need? So here Krishna is saying, here this nature, that cycle doesn't exist. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. It never changes. It's fixed, pure, perfect. So, again, coming back, how to attain that is the challenge. One Krishna says that tasmat sarvesu kalesu ma manusmana yuddhacha maya arpita manobuddhir. Dedicate your mind, dedicate your devotion, your activities to me, and there is no doubt that you will come to me. Mamevasasya samsaya. So although there are many paths Krishna describes in this chapter also, we will not go to the details, but he speaks specifically about thinking of Krishna in a very favorable way, in an attached way, with taking shelter of his lotus feet. I said taking shelter of devotees, one can actually attain this situation. So that is devotion. Bhakti Yoga, the process of practical service to God in a mood of devotion, is described as the topmost spiritual path. Now here, when we say topmost, it may sound a little sectarian type of things. But what is better, we have to understand in this way, like if something is working fine, it's okay. But another thing also happening fine and has features which includes these features, right? Then which is superior? The other one is definitely, next one is superior because it includes plus it has another other aspect also. So therefore, when we say Bhakti Yoga is topmost, that doesn't mean others are inferior. They're included. They're not inferior, they're included. So you don't have to search it elsewhere. If we practice Bhakti properly, benefits of all other paths are included in the Bhakti. But other paths, we have to cultivate Bhakti separately to an add-on. If I have been to a few places before I came to Krishna consciousness, and I see they also emphasize Bhakti, but it's add-on. Like you order some pizza, add on salad, like that. You add on. Add-ons are not the main course, right? Add-ons are add-ons. But here, the main course is Bhakti. And others are included. You don't have to add on anything. They're included. So therefore it is top. And there is no pride in saying that. Basically it is explaining this is how it is. It includes. It includes. So Bhakti Yoga, the process of practical service to God in a mode of devotion, is described as the topmost spiritual path. Bhakti Yoga, in an age of rampant materialism and temptation coupled with individual weaknesses, lack of spiritual aspiration, a highly practical and powerful spiritual process is required. So when we speak about spiritual path, it has to be really powerful. It has to something that has to touch us. Like I tried few processes before coming to Krishna consciousness. Like I was trying to do this meditation called, emptying the mind or think of nothing. It is so challenging. You can try. You can try sometime. It's very challenging to evacuate the mind of all the thoughts, clear it out completely. Then what happens when we come back? Then there is nothing positive to hold on to, right? So that exercise may relieve the mind for some extent, but there is the ability to have experience that is such a challenge itself, But when I come to Krishna consciousness, a little kirtan, even the kids do kirtan, it can touch because that mantras have power. Mantra are carrying the power. So here I am trying to do myself, but here something is coming our way and it has power within it. And it's easy to purify me, easy to touch me in a level of soul. It goes very deep. Because we have other experiences in life, like we hear music, we go to other places, movies and things like that, the experience is there. But this experience is different. It's different. And you don't have to try those things to have experienced this. Just experience it itself is good. And it goes deep. So, why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is becoming popular or becoming accepted, or people from all races, all places, they actually accept this and practice this, because it is touching. It is touching the soul. No matter what race I am coming from, what color I am coming from, rich, poor, learned, foolish. That is the power of this process, because it is able to touch everybody. Everybody. So therefore, this devotional process, especially recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is very powerful. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. Again, another statement that in the days of Kali, these holy names is very powerful. And we have experienced that by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who worked so hard actually in the late 70s. Again, when we speak about a human life, birth and death, if that's what our life is, then people normally retire after 60, 70. They just retire because they're waiting for the death. That's all. Who will start a startup company, or what do you call a whole organization, international organization at the age of 72 to spread holy names? Why? Because he doesn't see that death is the end of it. He is seeing much beyond. Srila Prabhupada saw it, therefore he didn't mind starting at the age of 72. And he worked very hard to actually give the best to the people. And because of his compassion, his sacrifices, we are able to experience Krishna consciousness in a very wonderful way. Whether it is kirtan or darshan of the deities, or prasadam, or like discourses where we sit and hear about Bhagavad Gita and the words of Lord Krishna, which is so pure, so empowering, so potent knowledge. So these things are possible because of Srila Prabhupada's ultimate, gift. So therefore, in the end, the Lord is concluding that I was saying how Bhakti Yoga is inclusive of other things is explained in this. This is the last sloka of the chapter. Vedesu yajnasu tapasu chaiva danesu yat punya phalam palitishtam. This is what Krishna is speaking, right? This is Krishna's words from his own lotus mouth. He is speaking this. Vedesu yajnasu tapasu chaiva danesu yat punya phalam padishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upeti chadam. That in this Bhakti Yoga, the yogi, the performer of Bhakti Yoga, he gets all the benefits that one gets by studying the Vedas. So Vedic literature we study to understand that benefit one gets simply by performing Bhakti Yoga. So that is included. Yajnasu, or one does a lot of sacrifices, spiritual sacrifices, or different sacrifices. So that also is obtained naturally by performing Bhakti Yoga. Danesu, by giving charity, whatever benefit one gets those benefits also by performing Bhakti Yoga. Yat punya phalam pradishtam. Whatever punya phal we get because of sacrifice or yajna, dana, tapa, everything is benefited by performing. Because He is the source of everything. Right? The Lord is source of everything. Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati chadyam. In this way, Lord is speaking this whole chapter about how we are entangled, how we have to come out of it, why you have to come out of it, what is the extent of the entanglement, and what is the process which can help us to overcome this. Is all explained in this chapter. So if I have not made it clear, please go back and read it again. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It's almost 5. I can take 1 or 2 questions max. Thank you. Okay, today's Gaurarti will be led by Madhuri Sakhi, Haribol, and Narasimha prayers by Amira. Amira. Who's Amira? You? Okay. I hope he's here. Okay. Any questions or comments? Yeah. Shamdra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class, especially this chapter 8 you very nicely summarized with the acronym DEAD, D-E-A-D. D for doubts, and then end of life, and A for attaining the Supreme, and D for devotion. So my one question to you is, you also explained that attaining the Supreme is the goal, and Antakala Chamameva, whatever we remember. So if you can give few tips by which we can remember more strongly with more resolve, that will be very helpful.
The tips given by Srila Prabhupada already, that let's say there's a ABCD process. A, association. B, the books. C, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And D is devotion. A diet. Sorry, I forgot. Diet, the food, prasadam. So if we associate with devotees, like every Sunday we can come, or other days also, there are a lot of things, lot of activities that are happening. We can come together and do those activities, do those services, volunteering. A, association. B, books, study of the scriptures, very important, the basis. C, chanting the mantras, because mantra is the process. Chanting is required, mantra meditation is required, so chanting of Hare Krishna sincerely every day is required. And D, diet is prasadam, because as I said in the beginning, we exist because somebody else dies. If we breathe, bacteria dies, or some entities are dying. So unless we acknowledge whatever we're eating as an offering to the Lord, because He is the creator, He has given thing, so we basically make black money white. We offer to the Lord, say, please allow us to accept it, and we promise that we'll serve or will contribute more than the vegetables we're sacrificing for us, or the grains they're sacrificing for us. We'll contribute, we'll give a promise, kind of promise, that we want to serve more. If we can't say we're willing to do it, that itself is a great deal. We're willing to serve more because so many entities are sacrificing for my existence. That is diet. So therefore we do not eat anything without offering to the Lord. So that is our, that's a devotion also. Because Krishna says, Patram Pusam Phalam Tam. It's a process that we are actually offering. He says, offer me as a gift. patram puspam phalam tvam yome bhaktya prachati tadam bhaktya uparhutam. Uparhutam means it's a gift. So you bring a gift to the Lord, a fruit, a flower, is a gift. You bring it as a gift. Krishna says, I accept it. To the extent that he actually asnami means eats. Nobody eats flowers. But Krishna has many instances when they offer him, like they say Vidura, the wife of Vidura, she offered the banana skin instead of the bananas. He ate it because out of devotion, out of love, she was offering. Anyway, so association, books, chanting, and diet, prasad. 4 things. I'm already over the time. Thank you very much for coming and listening very attentively. I really appreciate. If I have not presented anything in a way that is not appropriate, please forgive me. And I appreciate sincerely. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Now we'll have
His Grace Radha Vallabha Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Just put it on the table.
Want me to film like the cue from yours? She's right there. She's right there.
Hare Krishna. There is a silver Toyota 6SCE554 needs to be removed from the temple parking lot, and it has a. Oh, it's in the 7-Eleven shopping mall, and it has a harmonium inside, and the window is down. So, if you don't want your harmonium to be stolen, you better make it there. Hare Krishna.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Together. Hare Radha Mohan ki jai. Gaur Premanande. So you can either stand or sit down or pay obeisances. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Astottara Satashishi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Astottara Satashishi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. Before we sing the Nrsimhadev prayers, we have a request to Lord Nrsimhadev, and we request all the devotees to pray to him along with us. So the prayer is, Dear Lord Nrsimhadev, if you so desire, please give your protection and mercy to Nilamani Krishna Chandra Prabhu's colleague, who is in the ICU due to brain surgery and paralysis on half of his body. Please give him shelter at your lotus feet. Thank you for considering our request. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. First of all, we usually thank our newcomers, but first I'd like to thank all the devotees who've come back from Vrindavan with renewed energy. It feels like seeing them refreshed and beautiful, so we welcome them back home to ISV. We'd like to thank His Grace Radha Vallabha Prabhu for giving a wonderful class today. And we'd like to thank the beautiful duet of Janavi and Madhuri Saki for leading the Gaur Aarti. And thank you, Amira, for leading the Nishingadev prayers. By a quick show of hands, how many devotees here are here for the first time? Please raise your hand. Is Mataji in the back? Oh, any other newcomers? Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you for coming. If there's anything that we can do to make your stay here more comfortable, please reach out to myself, and I can answer any of your questions. But thank you so much for coming, and we'll chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as you all know by now, we have a wide online audience joining us from various channels. So we'd like to thank them for joining, as well as the broadcast team that makes this possible. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have two sponsors for today's Sunday feast. Harsh is sponsoring in the memory of his father, Sri Ashok Gaonkarji. Harsh Prabhu, are you here? No, well, we will chant for his father and in memory of his father together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We have Srivas Pandit Prabhu, who is also sponsoring in the memory of his father's, in the memory of his father on the occasion of his second anniversary. Srivas Pandit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. A father plays a very important role in one's life, and my father was no exception. When we were very young, he taught us to chant Bhagavad Gita shlokas, and he extended himself to give us a proper education, both material and spiritual, and a large part of who we are today, we owe it to him. He was a man of impeachable integrity and character, and I beg all the Vaishnavas who are assembled here to shower his prayers and blessings so that wherever he goes, he is firmly inclined to performing devotional service to Krishna. Thank you for considering that request. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now after Hansapriya Mataji makes an announcement.
Hare Krishna. How is everyone doing? How was Nityananda Superior's day? Oh, doesn't sound like it. How was it? Actually, I'm the one who is tired. I just flew back from Delhi. So come on, you should have a little more enthusiasm. How was Lord Nityananda Superior's day? We all missed you, but I wanted to let you know that I got you from Krishna Balaram temples, Lord Nityananda's Abhisheks, Abhisheks Maha. So this you can actually take it at the Prasadam place. They will put it on your head. It's 3-4 days old, so I would not, honor it. Just put it on your head. That's better. I just wanted to make this clear announcements before you go out and take it. And this is Krishna Balaram's garland from that day. I mean, small Krishna Balarams. And this is from Nrsingadev from Delhi temple that my Guru Maharaj gave me. So I wanted to let you know. And I also prayed for each of you at Adikeshwar temple, where Lord Chaitanya found Brahma Samhita, and Ananta Padmanabhan Swami temple, and then few other temples of South India that Lord Chaitanya went. I'm sorry I can't say those names, but maybe if Srivas, if you know, where the Parshuram deities are, and the Matsyadev, and there is also the place where Vamandev put his third foot. There is a whole river, that pond collects the water and it goes into the ocean, you can see. So I have put all the prasadam outside, so Radha Vallabha Prabhu is giving out, so please feel free to take some prasadam. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Speaking of prasadam, today's feast was headed by Siddhakata Prabhu, Suvarna Gopika Mataji, and a host of cooks. Would you like to?
Hare Krishna. Today's cooking was led by Siddhakata Prabhu and he was helped by Suvarna Gopika Mataji, Sharan Vihari Mukunda Prabhu, Priya Kushori Mataji, Smita Mataji, Satya Mataji, Shyam, Remina, Niharika, Neha Mataji, Ankita Mataji, Vashali Mataji, Anish Prabhu, Harsh Prabhu, Manasi Mataji, and Arun Prabhu. The cleaning was done by Dira Prashant Prabhu and Sri Kumar Prabhu.
We have two lines for prasadam. You can head out these doors. The line on the left side is the one with a pre-made plate, so you can grab and go quickly. The line on your right side has custom amounts, and so it usually takes a little longer. But thank you so much for coming. We hope to see you next Sunday. Sharira Vidyaja Jo Hindriya Tahika Jile File Vishaya Sagore Tarmade Jivayati Please come take the shadow, Devo.